Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. This is another one of those highly technical. You might want to click away from this if you're just looking for some entertainment, although it may be entertaining, I don't know. So, put up a video yesterday on a Magnum pre-wire, and some folks were asking, as they do a lot, what is that funky looking blue spaceship thing at the bottom of the inverter? These are Midnight surge protection devices. They come in three different sizes. There's a 300 volt, well, there's a 115 volt, and then there's a, shows you on the box, 115 volt, 300 volt, a 600 volt. I don't think I've ever seen the 1208 or the 480, but maybe there are. This thing is like you wire it into your, on a 240 AC 240 circuit, you would wire this one into one leg, this one into one leg, this one into the ground. You want to make the wires as short as you can, and it protects from certain types of surges. It talks about the clamping voltages. It talks about all the stats. I'm sure all you guys that know way more about electricity than I do are going to be able to talk about this and wax and wane eloquently. I, however, I'm not an electrical engineer, so I can't really go off of it. Basically, what this thing does is it's sized based on the voltage of the system. So if you had a 240 volt system, you'd use the MN-SPD 300 AC, 300 volt AC model. That would be this one right here. And this used to be the same part. Now there's a 300 DC and a 300 AC, and I'm told that the only difference is that the way the lights were lighting up were different, and they made it two different part numbers. So there you can see the part numbers on the SPDs. So that one would be if you had a 120 volt inverter, a single hot leg. That's for a 240 volt inverter or a charge controller. So it shows you the DC and the AC ratings. But it kind of spells it out right here. It says the maximum operating voltage of the SPD must be higher than the system voltage. If the SPD operating voltage is equal to or lower than the system voltage, the SPD will see this as an overvoltage event and begin shunting current to the ground. So it kind of shows you when it starts. The clamp voltage at 100 amps starts clamping at 775 volts. Like I said, folks, not an electrical engineer, but basically what you have here is a device that when it sees voltages that could be coming from some kind of a surge, it's usually a surge coming over the grid connection from lightning, but it could also be like some kind of a lightning hit a tree near a solar array or something. This is going to grab that voltage and hopefully shun it over to ground before it tears your stuff up. Professionally, I use these things. I really use as many as are in the budget for the customer, as long as I know it's going to work with the equipment. I have noticed that I found out the hard way, these don't work very good. It says here that they'll work with transformerless and transformered inverters without interfering with the ground fault protection. They work with charge controllers. They work with inverters. But I have found with SolarEdge, the 600 volt DC one doesn't work good. It causes some weird stuff if you put it on the DC side of the SolarEdge inverter. You can put these on pretty much any part of the inverter or the power system. It kind of shows you like different locations. And I'm just going through the manual here. Different locations where you could put one. You could put it in the combiner box on the PV array. We usually do that. We usually have an AC and a DC one in our load center. Might have one in a main panel before the load center. I have an electrician friend. He takes these things and just installs them outright in people's houses that don't have anything to do with solar. There's an example of an installation into a breaker. You don't have to put these things on a breaker. It says it somewhere too that you don't have to put it on a breaker. But anyway, you don't have to breaker it, but a lot of time people will breaker it. I got a buddy that, there's usually two lugs in an electrical panel. He'll come on over the screws where the lugs are. He'll have bolts that fit those screws where the electrical panel main lugs are, and he'll crimp ring terminals on there and land it where the power comes into the electrical panel, you know, where those, if you know what I'm talking about, in electrical panels. But these are great to protect stuff. This is, in my opinion, this is cheap insurance. These are like $100, and it's going to keep you from, hopefully protect your stuff from getting torn up. So I'll walk you over here where my system is, which I'm still messing with. But an example would be on my system, like where am I going to put surge protectors? I would put one, maybe put one on the AC side of the inverter and two on the DC side of the inverter. I don't usually put them on the DC side of the inverter, these string inverters. I just haven't had a lot of problems with lightning striking a transformerless inverter. I've had resorted to my mallet for fixing problems with inverters now, folks. I just use a mallet. That seems to fix everything. But I'm probably going to wire one into the AC in leg of my inverter. I'm going to wire one into the output leg of my inverter power system, and then I'm probably going to have one wired into the positive and negative bus bars of my system. So I'll have 3 in total on this system. Like I said, I don't think I'll be using a 600 volt inverter and or 600 volt surge protector. But you know, this is just all about surge protectors. If everybody's asking me, what is a surge protector? What is that blue thing? So if you are watching my videos and you're clicking on my videos and you're wondering what the blue thing is, you can just watch me talk about this for as long as you want. I'll have this link to it. I recommend you read the manual. That's what I recommend everybody do who's thinking about a DIY install. If you're not going to do a DIY install, you don't have to read the manual, but you can download the manual for all the stuff that you would want to install. Remember Kmart? Somebody comments. The Blue Light Special is what I thought about it. Yep, that's what it was, the Blue Light Special. But you can always download the manual. It's free to download. Read it and at least come away with a little better understanding of what it is, even if you aren't an electrical engineer or a solar installer. I'll tell you a little secret trick too. Is a lot of times your electrical panels like recessed in the wall. I'll just go by, they have a little box that Midnight will sell you that you could install, but I'll just cut a hole underneath the electrical panel and like put a piece of plexiglass, cut a real nice hole, and then you could even shoot some trim up under that electrical panel and then screw a little piece of plexiglass on under there, and it looks really nice, and you can see the lightning or the surge protector. You want to call them a lightning arrestor so bad, but you're not supposed to call it that because it's not a lightning arrestor. It's a surge protector. But yeah, read the manual if you think you need some of these. And then I'll tell you real quick, I'll tell you a little story about these things, and because everybody's going to say, well, do they work? That's the question. And I've never seen anything get struck by lightning or came out to a job and had a direct strike. I can testify that when we installed one of the first solar PV systems that I put in on my own, I put it in at a family member's house, my grandma, and up until I had installed the system, we'd basically have to change out I was like Johnny Techno, you know, I was like the guy that there's a different design. I haven't seen these ones yet with just a couple of these things, and they've changed it. Or maybe I got a bad one. That's weird. No, they've changed the stickers too. Look at that. So I haven't seen these new ones. This is like a new design. 2018. Wow. Who knew this was going to be an unboxed new product debut? Sneak peek. Anyway, that's the new design versus the old one. Kind of cool. So anyway, my grandma's house, she kept, every year we would have to replace the AT&T router modem where the DSL came into the house. And it was getting struck by lightning. That's what they said. Every time they'd say, oh yeah, you probably got struck by lightning. And they'd always change it out, and we change out the surge protector, like the plug strip up where the computer was. And after I put a system in with one of these on the AC side and one of these on the DC side, we stopped changing out the router. I stopped having to go up there and replace it every summer. And so that's my one little story about how these things really work. So is it working? Is it helping her? I have no way of checking, but I do know something changed after I did that installation, and I realized, man, I don't have to change that router out anymore. Or that, it's not a router, it's the thing that where the DSL comes into the house. So if you're trying to figure out how to do some surge protection for your electrical system in your house, I highly recommend you install one of these in your house. Standing alone without a solar system, you don't have to have a solar system to get one of these. You can just order this from me, or don't order it from anybody else, just get it from me. But highly recommend it, and it's gonna, it seems like it's protecting a lot of stuff, especially with as many sophisticated electronic devices as people have in their houses these days. It's, like I said, it's cheap insurance, and it's a lot better than the old school sand-filled Delta ones. This seems to be the best one that I have found. And whenever I see a funky looking one at a job and I ask them, how much did that run you? They always say they were way more expensive than what that is. This one's been taken out of an old job. I took this out so you can see it's got, the leads are already cut where they are. But that's a surge protection device. So this video is for those of you that are saying, Johnny, I really like your highly technical videos that are instructional. That's a little instruction for you. Hope it helps you guys, and hope it doesn't set off a avalanche of electrical engineering trolls hitting me with all kinds of condescending talk about surge protection, because that's obviously not what I wanted. Thank you for watching. If you like these kind of videos, please subscribe and follow me, and I'll keep doing more. I'm going to be hitting you with some weird homesteading style videos soon, so be ready and sort through the madness. And this is Johnny Valentine with Gain Solar signing off.